Shemai for DI and welcome back to my channel. My name is CaitlinAnwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get into another speed build. And today I'm renovating a starter home in the Wakaba neighbourhood. And this house was originally built by James Turner, and he has dubbed this house the Dirt House. As you can see, everything was kind of beige, and probably most people will know after James had submitted this house for the final build, the gurus actually changed the terrain underneath the house to like this dirt patch, which made the beige walls kind of look too matchy with the flooring. And this is actually his like least favorite build, so I don't feel so bad in renovating it. And I'm actually renovating this home for Sim in my Let's Play. He is a single man who does actually have a daughter with my main character. He's just not really all that much around and involved in the daughter's life, unfortunately. So this is going to be like more like a bachelor pad, and he's a very successful businessman in the salaryperson career. So I didn't want this to be a starter home. I wanted it to be like more like he'd been living there a while and he's quite successful, so it's slightly more expensive than a starter home. I wanted this to be quite modern. I wanted the illusion of the wraparound roof, so I had a little trouble with this. And I had a little trouble with like the half walls repainting. I wanted this to be quite dark and quite black and white, but I wasn't really happy with how it looked with the wraparound roof. So it took a little playing around. I'm glad that it was originally like built like this, because otherwise I definitely wouldn't have been able to do this type of roofing. I think James is the only one that did platforms for the roof, but obviously didn't do any half walls on there because the half walls tend to be quite expensive, and I think that's the reason why this house is I think it's roughly 10,000 over the starter home limit, but this is kind of like a next stage up home. So you start off with the starter home, you earn a bit of money, and then you sort of get a house like this, which is a little nicer, but it's still not super expensive. But the platforms and the different stages on the roof is really cool. I wanted to add a little bit of like glass roofing. It would have been a lot easier just to use the island living glass tiles, like the floor tiles. But I wanted to make this base game and snowy escape only, so I used the regular glass roof. They don't cut through the platforms like they do with flooring, unfortunately, so you kind of have to like delete the platform and just leave the half wall there like it's kind of in the platform. But the glass roof works in this area quite nicely because it's got those like plants there, and it could be like a little mini balcony garden. That's what I was thinking for this area anyway. So it took me a little bit of time and jigging about, but I ended up swapping the wallpaper around from like the accent walls being black and the main house being white. I swapped it around and I made the accent walls be white and the main house be black. I think the wraparound roof fitted a lot better in that way, and I think it was quite nice putting the house black and white, or keeping the house black and white, because James's usual style is a lot of black and white, and it fits really nicely in with this neighbourhood as well. Quite a lot of the shell houses are black and white around here, so it fits in a lot nicer with the neighbourhood. It was kind of this odd one out beige box And then the front door is kind of odd. I don't think it's technically supposed to be a front door. And the new letterbox is so cool. It's got like little character designs on it, and it fits on the wall instead of it being like a mailbox. It's like a little letterbox instead. That's perfect. I'm so glad that's come in with the pack as well, because we don't have mailboxes in the UK. We just got a letterbox in our door. Basically, it's just popped through the door. We don't have to go outside to get our mail. So it's nice to have something that's like quite close to the front door. So it actually fits in more with like UK homes as well. So it's really nice. And I was so happy to find that there was new hanging plants, or like plants for the wall that comes with Snowy Escape. So I used them as an accent wall on this side to grow over from the grass roof down the wall on this side, because mainly most of this wall is just like unused space. This is kind of lacking in plants and greenery from this like dirt patch underneath it, so I wanted to bring more green in, and it just sort of filled in the wall a little bit more. I quite like using the debug plants as well because they're free. And I use a little trick to keep everything on the ground level when I was like raising them up. If you click shift and page up or down, you can select where the grid is as you're building. So at the moment it's on like the roof. If you press shift and page down, you will get the grid to go down onto the ground level, so you can keep everything on that one level instead of it popping up and down. I said this in my last renovation. It's kind of odd renovating something that's been made by another simmer instead of like the game developers, like the same gurus, because usually it's like, oh, I need to fix this build, but now it's just like I'd like to make this suit my sim a little bit more. And I didn't like the fact that the living room didn't have a TV, so I've changed the layout of the home a little bit and put the kitchen at the front of the house with those nice big windows. I'm keeping everything black and white to keep in with the theme of the outside. And I thought I'd add in some island counters instead of a dining area, or instead of a dining table, just because this sim is going to be working quite hard in his career, and he's not going to be really spending all that much time at home. He's going to be like working overtime and things like that, so it's just like a quick snack before he goes to work. And because we don't really have matching cabinets to these new counters, I've used the shelves instead, but the one shelf does not match like tones with the fridge, which was really frustrating. And I ended up just like trying to work out which ones fit better where, but the shelf over the cooker matched in perfectly. I really like that. And I like that there's like new clutter items for the kitchen, like the tea caddies, like where they keep the tea, and the plates are just amazing. I used one of the counters as just like a storage for the plates, and I just filled in that little space quite a lot. It's just amazing that we've actually got plates that are just decoration items. Usually you could just use the debug ones, but Sims will want to clean those up, I think. I didn't want to block off much of that area, so he's just got like one sofa and a nice big telly. He is successful in his salary person career, so obviously he's going to want a nice big TV. And I used the shelves again to make more of a feature on the wall. Instead of it just being like just the TV, I thought I'd put those shelves down to make it look a little bit more interesting. And originally there is like a green feature wall throughout the build, so I kind of took from that and used that colour in with the sofa, but unfortunately the swatch didn't really go with the sofa all that much, and I couldn't really find a swatch to match the sofa. And now onto the bedroom. I wanted the bedroom to have a platform for the bed, just to play around with platforms a little bit more and sort of practice, basically. I wasn't sure whether this would actually work. It did really make the stairs freak out outside. The stairs are just a big old problem in The Sims right now since platforms come in. They're just very glitchy, so I kind of gave up with the stairs outside. And I was tempted to add in a toddler bed just in case the toddler actually came and stayed. But decided against that. The house was too small as is, and I needed a computer and a chess table for his career in this build. So if you decide that you like this little house, the items needed to build skills for the salary person career is in this house ready. I wanted to make sure that he could build the skills for his career in this house as well. So you've got the chess table in the entryway by the front door and the computer in the bedroom, because you need the logic skill, writing skill for the base careers, and then if you join one of the branches you either work on programming or charisma. So that's why they needed the computer and the chess table, because the computer basically does everything other than logic. And the one thing I did add for the toddler, just in case the toddler does want to come and visit in this home, is a very small little toy box hidden under a table, just in case his co-workers notice he has a child. He doesn't want to like tarnish his name, so he's hidden it under the table. It's like, oh yeah, I've got toys ready for my daughter, but I'm gonna hide them for now until she comes to visit, just in case my co-workers notice. I actually kind of regret playtesting this in the winter, because the beautiful red tree out the front is kind of dead. And all of the leaves have fallen off it, so it's kind of sad. But I've also included the little sign that stops Sims from wearing shoes indoors, so I've got like a little shoe rack at the front entryway. But I really love all of the natural light that comes into that entrance, and I think my favourite part of this is probably the kitchen. I think the view of the kitchen is gorgeous, and I normally don't do really dark counters, so that was a little bit odd for me, but I really liked it. And I really like the mural wall with the like mountains in the bedroom. But you'll have to let me know what you think of the build in the comments. And if you want to download this is on my gallery. It is called 243 Wakaba Mori Reno, and my gallery ID is the same as my YouTube channel, CaitlinAnwyn. So yeah, if you want to download that. That is pretty much it. I can't believe how long it took me to figure out all of those different platforms, but I think the platforms on the roof look really cool. I think James had a really good idea there. If you enjoyed this speed build, smash that like button, and if you haven't already and you would like to, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!